I'm going to break down the single greatest sales close for getting more prospects into sales conversations. Less calls to book an appointment, more appointments, higher show rates, more sales. Sometimes what sounds too good to be true actually isn't. I'm Brandon Biskey and co-founder of Make Sales Great Again. I've personally sold over $500 million in my 20-year sales career and trained over 5,000 reps across more than 20 industries worldwide. Most importantly, I've made tens of thousands of sales calls, both cold and warm, and found the easiest, most effective, last-ditch effort that single-handedly made the greatest impact on my ability to get more people into a sales conversation than anyone else. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it, when to use it, how to say it, and you'll be able to get way more people into sales conversations than you ever have. Now, there's three buckets of people that this last-ditch effort close is massively beneficial for, but each for different reasons. So if you're newer in sales, you need the simplest tools that don't take years to learn and the easiest to repeat consistently, but that also can make the biggest difference. This is that. If you've been in sales for a minute, you've probably found a certain level of success and income that's somewhat kind of stabilized based on your skill set and sales system. And for you, breaking through that plateau isn't a magic pill. Regardless of the bullshit that you see online, you aren't going to double your close rate overnight. But you do need tools that are going to get you those extra couple appointments that you aren't getting right now. This is that. And if you're running a team, you need something that's easy to teach for both the new rep and the rep that's been around for a while. And you guessed it, this is that. So here's a baby negative for you, another sales tool that we absolutely love. This close won't work most of the time. Brandon, what? You're doing this YouTube video on a thing that doesn't even work? Listen, if you didn't stop the video already, I'm going to explain why this is going to make a massive difference in your paycheck. So let's look at an example. You're prospecting on the phone, trying to generate interest, which will turn into a sales conversation or otherwise probably an appointment of some kind, right? We'll be conservative for this and base it only on a 5-day work week and a 50-week work year. And this thing only working 2% of the time. Now, during prospecting, we'll say you get rejected about 50 times a day. A rejection in this case, remember, is just someone not even willing to get into the sales conversation. But this last-ditch effort close works to get only one of those 50 rejections into a sales conversation, or obviously an appointment, that otherwise wouldn't have, or they're not right now with you. So if all that math works out, of this only working 2% of the time, of getting a bunch of your no's into just one yes out of 50, that's an additional 5 appointments or sales conversations per week, which is an additional 250 appointments per year. Now let's assume, very conservative, a show rate of 50% and a close rate of 30%. Again, conservative on both of them. That would still be an additional 37 deals per year that you weren't getting before off of something that works 2% of the time. If you make $1,000 on an average deal, that's a $37,000 raise. And if you make way more, then it's obviously way more. Now, I went through that for a reason, to show you that in sales, if you can get something that only works 2% of the time, it's actually really, really, really good. So yeah, I'm gonna show you an amazing thing that doesn't work most of the time. So what situation is the last-ditch effort close best used for? This is important. It's best used during prospecting. Now, there's a variation of it that can be used on the back end of closing a deal, but that's another video for another day. It's also most effective during high-volume phone prospecting. It can work for texting or emailing or something like that. I've definitely done it like that, but we're going to talk about it in this video in the context of high-volume phone prospecting. Now, if it wasn't already obvious, it's best used for when the prospecting is setting up for an instant sales conversations or a future appointment. Now, it's called the last-ditch effort close for a reason. It is best used when you've tried everything else already and or you know you're about to get hung up on. Finally, this particular close does assume that they already have a thing similar to yours and that you either know that already or you found that out on the call. So for example, you're a financial advisor and they already have one. You're a realtor and they work with their friend. You sell SaaS and they already have a system doing what yours does. You sell health insurance and they already have it. Now for all of these scenarios, you want them to not work with those other things or people and switch to your thing. These are also arguably the most difficult people to sell because they at least feel as if their need has been met. So we're going to focus on this scenario. I'm also going to give you 2 alternate versions that you can use based on your personality, product or service that you sell, or sales process. Now, first, the scripting. Then we're going to break down why we're saying every single word, because it's all psychologically phrased for a very specific reason. So here it is. Quote, real quick. We're going to get off the phone right now, but real quick, and probably a stupid question. Are you even 1% remotely open to the possibility of, now insert more value for same money statement, we'll go over this, or same value for less money? I'm going to say that one more time. Quote unquote, real quick. We're going to get off the phone right now, but again, real quick, and probably stupid question, but are you even 1% remotely open to the possibility of me giving you more value for the same money or the same value for the less money? Now, we're going to break this down so you know exactly why and how we built it and why this shit works. So first, we framed it to guide to one logical answer. Now, we take a page out of the greatest trial lawyers in history. One of their golden rules is to never ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. And while this isn't exactly that, we are psychologically and strategically framing the question into a yes or no question, but where the answer we want is the only logical and rational one, and the other is quite literally stupid. As we talk about in our trainings and sales and negotiations and decision making, it's all unfortunately riddled with emotion. And we all do and say very irrational and illogical things. So you're still gonna get the answer you don't want. And that will just tell you that sales defense is very, very high. And guess what? Move on. You can't sell them all. So the second piece of this is the real quick verbiage. Now, the first part of the script is real quick. And we'll get off the phone right now, but real quick. The first real quick lets them know that we basically know they don't want to talk to us at all and that you've just got one last thing. And we'll just get off the phone right now is a bit of strategy that we call giving them an out. Now, we know they want to get off the phone, so we're telling them we know that, and we're going to do that in exchange for one last quick question, so or AKA reciprocity, right? The last real quick, because you say it twice, is just another reminder to the prospect that we're literally about to get off the phone right now. So please, God, for the love of God, just let me say one last thing. Number 3 is the stupid question. We tell them this is probably a stupid question and kind of give like a little bit of a fake laugh. We're preempting this as a stupid question as a way to guide them more to the answer that we want. No one wants to give a stupid answer to a stupid question. We're also gently pointing out, yo, this is a stupid question, so there's really only one good answer. This one's key to get right with the tonality, though. Otherwise, you're just going to come off really salesy and not in a good way. The fourth piece of this is the 1% open. This part is huge. Now we say, are you even 1% remotely open to the possibility of? 1% remotely open is us asking for the bare minimum. We don't even need you to be interested. We just want to know if you're even curious about it. Also, psychologically, we don't like to be all in or all out of anything that we aren't super familiar with. Human beings don't actually like to be the extremes of anything. We know most things lie on a spectrum, and we have this innate fear of loss and never want to be entirely closed off to better outcomes. So by asking if they are even 1% remotely open, we're looking for that Dumb and Dumber moment. So you're telling me there's a chance. The last part of this is the possibility of. Now, this is using brutal honesty and not over-promising as tools. We aren't even saying we can do what we're about to say. We're just asking that they're open to the possibility of us being able to do what would only be in their best interest, which again is trying to just get the bare minimum out of them. Now, speaking of real quick, are you even 1% remotely curious about the possibility of a sales course being the difference maker between where you are now and where you want to be in your sales career. If you are, check the link in the description. We spent years on this course and wanted to include everything other courses left out, what got us to where we are, and what we've taken from top closers around the world. Oh, and please don't forget, like and subscribe and do all the things. We'll go back to the breakdown. Now, number 5 is the value and money piece. Everything boils down to value and money. Every single person on planet Earth wants more value for less money, period. No matter the product, the service, the person, it doesn't matter. In its purest form, we want the best shit ever for free or as little money as possible. And conversely, no one wants to pay more money for less value. This concept is at the crux of consumerism, capitalism, buying behaviors, decision-making psychology, and sales. And this is why we quite literally frame the close in exactly this way. And the reason we frame the question giving both scenarios of more value for the same money and same value for the less money is so we aren't cornering ourselves into a place of a price-only conversation, but a balance of price and value. We don't know what they're paying. We don't even know what they're getting. But ideally, you should be able to win at either price or value. So framing it in this way gives multiple options for them to be open to and multiple angles for you to approach the prospect from. Now, we told them we're about to get off the phone. We prefaced the question with saying it'd be stupid to lead their answer. We underpromised with just a possibility. And finally, we told them we were just going to want to give them more value for the same money or the same value for less money, which gives us 2 possibilities of a positive win-win scenario. And now we shut up. Will people still say no? Absolutely. Sales defense is up. You tried, move on. But will you get 1 or 2 people out of 50 current rejections to sit and go, well, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can, but I'm open to seeing if you can, if it doesn't take too long. And that is all we need. A couple open minds that we didn't have before. As we walked through in the earlier example, is all we need to make a serious difference in our paychecks. Now, one last thing before we go. The 2 alternate versions. All you have to do is swap out the 1% open with either would you be 100% opposed to the idea of ... or would I completely ruin your day if I were somehow able to ... Now, both of these are amazing. 100% opposed is almost actually better than the 1% open because, like we mentioned, no one actually wants to be 100% opposed to something they both know nothing about and when something would be great for them. That'd be dumb. And the ruining your day version is just a funny take that I love because it makes you stand out amongst the rest of the random calls they're getting. And again, it goes completely against logic that saving them money or giving them more value would absolutely ruin their day. So there you have it. That is the last ditch effort close that will get you into leaderboards, out of the slump, and earning more money than you ever have in sales. If you are still watching this video, number 1, thank you and I love you. And if you're even 1% remotely curious about the possibility of a sales course changing the game for you, check out the link in the description. I'm Brandon Biskey, and this is Make Sales Great Again. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.